विराजत कमनीय पुस्तका विदेश्च पत्नी कमलासन प्रिया सरस्वती नृत्यतु वाचिमे सदा. So friends, this is an invocation to goddess Saraswati. Correct. So I have requested her to use me as an instrument for next 120 minutes. Correct. And justify your time, money, and intellect, whatever you have invested for attending this lecture. So if you like the lecture, the credit should go to whom? Goddess Saraswati. If there are any shortcomings, that is my contribution. Correct. Yeah. So, warm welcome to all of you at Dadar, at Vashi, and all the online friends. A special warm welcome to the friends who have joined from some other institutes, because they should not feel that they are just like, they have not done it from Yoga Vidya Niketan. So they should not feel like fish out of water. So it's a very, very special responsibility, not only of the teachers, but other students or friends also, that they should feel that it's a coherent group. Correct. Um, Hopefully, all of you have received my presentation. Correct. So maybe by mistake you might have gone through also. Yeah. So the idea was that if you get time and if you can go through, at least you will have a rough idea about what is it that we are going to talk about. Number one, then this will remain as a permanent record to you. So if at all you would like to revise or if you would like to know. Secondly, most important was that when I am projecting something, most of us we are busy in writing down what is going on. Or maybe, those who are techno savvy, they are interested in taking the screenshots. Correct. So I said, anyway, they are going to share, take a screenshot and then share it to you. So why not be honest? Share it. Anyway, this is all I have learned from you only. So nothing is original, man. So I have learned it from you all. So it's all your problem. Uh, I just have two suggestions. One is that, as per our syllabus, as per our prospectus, all the communication that will go on till 8:30, that will be in English, because that is what I am supposed to adhere to, what is written in the prospectus. But if anything is not clear, after 8:30, you can ask me question in some other language also. Because then, we can take liberty of talking in maybe Hindi or Marathi or maybe Gujarati or whatever it may be, or any other language that you teach me over a period of time. So we can communicate in that particular language. Uh, First of all, let me be very honest, because since we are friends, correct, let me be very honest with you that I am a very selfish person. Correct. So accept it. Yeah. So what is my self-interest? My self-interest is to make more and more friends. Correct. So I look forward as an opportunity to have more friends. Correct. And this friendship at least should continue for 1 year. Later on, it is your choice, correct? But at least for 1 year, we would continue to be friends, correct? And then during the course of our interaction, correct, there should be some mutually positive changes that take place, not only in you, but in me also, correct? So anytime you feel that there is something wrong or there is something which can be improved upon, please feel as a friend to write to me, to talk to me, correct? My number is there, my email ID is there, and you can definitely do that. Now, the best way to start communication in the gathering of friends is story, no? Correct. We always like stories, right? So let us talk about some story. And since we are talking about friends, so let us talk about the story of two friends. Correct. There are two friends who decided to go for a adventurous trekking in desert. Correct. So, of course, there are always some limitations as far as the food is concerned, water is concerned, the scorching environment and all those things. So many times, we lose our patience. We get irritated, correct? So it so happened that one of the day, one friend got terribly irritated and he slapped another friend, correct? So he was surprised that, normally he never does like that, but probably, he has some issues, some problems, and it must have gone beyond his tolerance limit. So he slapped me. He said, okay, it's fine. So there was a sand. So he wrote something that today my best friend slapped me. Today my best friend slapped me. Then they moved further, and then there was a place where, somehow this friend who was slapped, he got stuck. So another friend again, came to his rescue. He rescued him from that problem. Again, the first friend wrote on a stone that today my best friend saved me. Correct? So the friend who has slapped him and saved him also, he just asked him, just out of curiosity, can I ask you one question? He said, yes, yeah, your friend, so you can take definitely liberty. He said, when I slapped you, wrote on a sand, and we did something good, you have written or carved on the stone. So why you have opted for two different medias? So he said, mind one thing, and even this is something that if you implement in your own life, correct, there will be a dramatic change, correct. Yeah. So what is it? What is the meaning of, or what is the moral of this story? When someone hurts you, correct, write all those memories in a sand, correct. So the wind of forgiveness will erase them over a period of time. Never keep in your mind. When somebody does something good for you, carve them on a stone. Correct. So they are permanent. Always remember them. Always remember that you need to be uh, have a gratitude towards that particular friend. Even if you implement this small thing, correct, from tomorrow morning, I can vouch that there will be a dramatic change in your own life, in your office, in your family, everywhere, wherever you interact. Correct. So please try and remember this story at least. Now, whenever we are talking about yoga therapy, I think that I cannot just go an inch further without remembering and expressing my gratitude to Swami Kualanandaji. Those of you who have visited, our Yoga Bhavan Vashi, you might have seen a statue of Swami Kualanandaji on the right hand side because he was our Nimbalkar Guruji's guru and the founder of Kaivalya Dham Institute. Correct? No, why we have to do it? Because in my opinion, he was one of the pioneer of scientific research which was done in the field of yoga. So why I'm saying that one of the, because I'm aware that there will be so many people from some other institute and they will have same kind of a respect for the guru of that particular institute, and they also might have done some work we don't know, correct. So let us pay respect to them also. Nothing wrong in saying that he was one of the pioneer person in doing research in field of yoga. And what Swamiji did was that whatever measures were available for quantifying the effects of yoga abhyas, correct. Maybe at that time X-ray was probably the only there were no MRIs and there were no CT scans and whatnot. So with X-rays, he tried to, try to understand what exactly is happening all within. And then he interpreted what are the positive effects of yoga. Correct. So that credit definitely goes to him. And another advantage was that because he was making use of the, technologies which are available or random used in medical field, so many doctors were also attracted to the field of yoga. Now you remember that Swamiji did all these things 60 years ago. Now you can imagine 60 years ago what may be the attitude of the doctors also, and even of the general people also. Correct. So he has taken really pains to ensure that all the effects are established scientifically. Another interesting point about Swamiji is that he established yoga research lab at the age of 40 at Lonavala, Kaivalyadham, Lonavala, probably some of you might have visited. So it implies that all of you have a scope. You are in that particular age range only, correct? So you can also establish this kind of a research lab. And the second part of sentence is very important. After establishing a lab at the age of 41, the first research paper he published after 39 years at the age of 80. So you can imagine what kind of a dedicated work he must have done, and that's the reason why he should be remembered, and we should express our gratitude to him. Swamiji was a firm believer, and he said that he had a firm conviction that human beings suffer because of violation of laws of nature. Correct. So not just we just don't want to get carried away by Swamiji said. Let us take a real life example because whatever we will talk about, we will try to correlate with our daily life situation. Correct? Then only there is a meaning in understanding. Otherwise, this just becomes a quote correct? We should understand. So let us understand the law of nature in a very simple way, like what we do every day in and day out. That is, do we eat lunch, breakfast, and all those things? Yeah. So what is the law of nature? As per the law of nature, when someone should eat, when you are hungry, correct? That means all of you know the law of nature. You should eat when you are hungry, correct? Now be brutally honest to yourself. When do you eat actually? You eat at the breakfast time, you eat at the lunch time, you eat at the dinner time, correct? Yeah. Now, fortunately, animals don't have that kind of a restriction looking at the clock and then only to decide that whether we should eat or not. It's only the human being, and that's the reason why we are suffering also. Correct? And that particular thing has impregnated us so much that you probably might have seen so many things on an animal planet or something like that. There is a tiger who is sitting there, correct? He's not hungry. His tummy is full. So deers are roaming around, correct? Zebras are roaming around. He didn't pay any attention to it, correct? Why? Because he's not hungry. He should not eat. Tiger knows about it. Do we know the most intellectual species on the earth? Do we know about it? Correct. Or we take every opportunity that we can grab something and eat. Yeah. So this is the first and the simplest law of nature that we should follow. The moment you start following it up, correct, you will see a dramatic difference. Because, and it is not only you, even your near and dear ones also need to be, enlightened about it. Why? Because touch wood, you should not fall sick. You should not fall sick, correct? And you are all great yogis here, so you will definitely not fall sick, correct? But when you fall sick, what is it that your near and dear ones do? They say you must eat something. You must eat, no? You need energy to fight against that disease. Now, that is the worst thing that you can ever do. If at all you are sick, correct? Don't charge your digestive system. No? Let all our resources go to the fighting of that, bacteria or viruses which are there. So give rest. Don't eat anything. Now, if you start following these kind of a laws of nature, that is what Swamiji meant for, correct? Then definitely this is something which will make a lot of difference in your own life. Now, when I started thinking about this particular, discussion, right, there's so many questions that cropped up in my mind, and I tried to find out answers for that. So, which I am going to share in the due course of time. The first question that came to my mind is that current medical system is good. Current medical system is good, no? Correct. So why to look out for another system, alternate system of yoga therapy and all those things? There has to be justification. Correct. Otherwise, why we should learn, why we should propagate, why we should do it. Uh, to support this statement that current, medical system is good, correct? I just took out the data of life expectancy in India. And secondly, majority of my talk will be related to our own country. There's no point in saying that in Russia you have so much of life, Germany you have so much, and USA so much. In our own country, correct? If you analyze and if you study the data, statistical data, in 1900, the average life expectancy was something around 22 years. Within 100 years, we reached a stage of almost 61 years. Correct? And last year, it is more than 70 years. So there is a dramatic improvement as far as the life expectancy is concerned, correct? Which implies that the current medical system is good. Otherwise, life expectancy would not have, increased to such an extent. Now, here we need to, use our intellect and understand. No doubt, there is a quantitative improvement. Quantitative means from 20 figure, it has gone to 60, from 60, it has gone to 70. So, quantitative improvement is there. But what about qualitative improvement? Have we improved the quality of the life? And suppose if you interact with any senior person, correct, senior citizen, so you'll always heard one statement that nowadays you have very, very big packages, few lakhs of rupees and all those things. We had few hundred rupees salary, but we were happier than you. Is it not that we understand, we learn from so many of our citizens? So the quality of life has deteriorated. Correct. So quantitatively we have increased. Correct. Qualitatively it has depleted because there is something called as a World Happiness Index, which again is, done a lot of surveys and which is published. So India stands 126 in 143 countries served. That means we have tremendous scope to improve upon. Qualitatively, we need to improve a lot. And Dalai Lama says that, happiness is the highest form of health. We are just talking about the health in terms of physical thing, but happiness, state of mind is something which needs to be understood as a real improvement as far as the life is concerned. And secondly, happiness, most of us, we are materialistic people. Yes or no? Be honest, yeah. Correct. Yeah. So all of us, we are materialistic people. So happiness, we don't understand. It is a state of mind and not a materialistic gain. Correct. Now, to support this statement again, we have some data which talks about the amount of money spent on foreign tours. Correct? Amount of money spent by foreign tours, on foreign tours by Indian people, by Indian citizens. Correct? Maybe 15 years ago, it was 148 crore rupees. 148 crore rupees. Correct? Now, in 15 years, it has gone to 148,000 crore rupees. Tremendous improvement. Correct? Which obviously means there has to be, people must be happy, but it is not reflecting. So let us have absolute clarity in our mind, correct? That yes, okay, materialist things are necessary, but they don't bring you happiness, correct? So to improve in terms of quality of the life, we need to have some other thing. Not that we are not talking against any of the medical sciences, but along with medical sciences, if we can do something, medical science will improve the quantity. We can try to improve the quality of life. Correct. So we can definitely, we can spend some time to understand all those things. Correct. Uh, I'm not trying to criticize because, I always say when you start walking on a path of yoga, the first thing that you have to, sacrifice, when you perform yajna, no? So you sacrifice something. Somebody will offer ghee, somebody will offer rice. So when you start walking on a path of yoga, the first sacrifice that all of us have to do, correct, is criticizing anybody else. Criticizing anybody else, correct? Because it doesn't matter. Say today, all of you, suppose if I start talking to about, what exactly is the Trump's actions which are doing globally, you will deliver a lecture of 2.5 hours. Is it not? Probably Trump also will get educated out of your lecture. But does it make any sense? Correct? In your own house, your wife doesn't listen to you. What about Trump? Correct? Not about you. Both of you are very good. So don't worry about it. Correct? But for others, correct? So we don't listen to our spouse also. So what about, so stop criticizing. So whatever I'm just quoting, they are just observations. Don't take it as a criticism. That is my first request to you. First is that, let us try and understand what is the medicine and medication. What is exactly meaning of medicine and medication? Medicine and medication both mean thoughtful action, thoughtful action to establish an order. When you fall ill, there is a disorder, correct? You need medication to bring back that order which you had, correct? So it's a thoughtful action to establish the order which already was disturbed. No, is it a factual observation in today's life? What exactly happens is that, tell me very honestly, there may be some doctors also in, our group of friends which have joined, correct? You go to any doctor for any problem, correct? Have you come across even on one single time that doctor says that there is nothing wrong with you? Just go and enjoy. Don't worry about it here. So what I should eat? Eat whatever you want, correct? What activity I should do? Do whatever you want. There is no problem at all. Have you come across any doctor? No, no. Correct. Otherwise, he will have to, close down his shop. Yeah. Yeah. So that is not possible today because he also has his own, problems. Correct. So that is what is the reality. Now, there is one very, very thought-provoking doctor who delivers a lot of lectures. Most of the things that I am referring to, you can note down and you can just, see on a YouTube also. One named Dr. Hegde. Correct. So he says that Right now, how exactly is our medical education designed? Ultimately, everything boils down to the educational system, correct? So, how exactly our medical education system designed? We say whenever somebody comes with a problem, correct? He communicates to us some symptoms. You communicate that I have a, pain and on this side, pain on that side, I have a fever, I have a cough, or whatever it may be, correct? So, he communicates symptoms to us. We interpret those symptoms, correct, and do diagnosis. What exactly may be the problem, correct? And then we give drugs to ensure that that problem is eradicated. That is what is the current situation. He said there is no medical system, educational system which exists today, which talks about whether drug is the only method to cure it. Your diagnosis is good, that is on your intellect, correct? But is it necessary that every time we should administer drugs? Is it possible that there may be some of the solutions which can come by changing his lifestyle? Correct. Now you say you have acidity. Correct. And then I just casually ask you, oh, yeah, you have acidity. So how many times, what is your most favorite food? He said, what about? Yes or no? Correct. So it's what about? It's very easily available every corner. I think most of you, when you give your house address, now you say that come here, and then from Matunga station when you come, there is something called as a Vidarbha Vada Pav. Take a left turn. So that becomes almost like a guiding point for us. It is so popular. Correct. Now, if you say that I eat at least say 5, 6, 7, 8 vada pavs and I have acidity, should I give medicine as an antacid, or should I tell you that if you stop that, correct, your problem will get minimized? So he said that right now we are not teaching our students, medical students, correct, that try and see whether the lifestyle is a problem. Try and see whether intervention with the drug is necessary, or just by leaving it to the patient itself, it will get cured. Because always by jokingly they say, whenever you have a cold, correct, there is the best medicine which is available. Within 7 days, you get rid of it. Within 7 days, 101% you will get rid. And don't take that medicine, within 1 week you will be cured. Correct? Yeah. So do we have that kind of approach at all? So that is what is the observation made by the doctor, very senior doctor. Uh, Indiscriminate use of drug is a very big problem. What has happened? Not primarily the drugs are not bad, but indiscriminate use of it. Indiscriminate in the sense, probably you may be aware that I think 2 years or 3 years down the line, correct? All the antibiotics which we used to consume, correct? They were available over the counter. I had a fever, I had a cold. Doctor has recommended that particular medicine. I know about it. Correct. So next time I go to the chemist and say, give me that antibiotic. So I myself decide that this is what is the course that I am going to take. Now it is banned. Correct. Because the problem is that antibiotic is something which is to be used when it is really emergency. Correct. Now if you go on galloping antibiotics when it is actually needed at the time of surgery or at the time of something, correct? At that time it is not effective. Because the bacteria have already developed resistance to it. Probably, all of you have passed through COVID phase, correct? And you know how intelligent bacteria and viruses are. Every 7 days they used to alternate other modification, which used to be for against the drug that we have prescribed, correct? So by nature, it is an inherent intellect which is given to every living species, correct? So whatever bacteria does, we are doing to ourselves also. So if you have antibiotic exorbitantly, then probably it will not work when it is absolutely needed. And that's the reason why it is dangerous. Now, if at all you take some pains and try to study, that most of the drugs that we are talking about, correct? What is the origin of it? From where they originated, correct? And you will, yes. Correct. So, madam says that all of them, they have been derived from the plant. So earlier we had only the medicines which were from the plant based. Correct. Now what has happened is that the plant based medicines used to take a lot of time for cure. Correct. So how we should use our intellect? You have a plant. Correct. Maybe some plant is there whose leaves are creating a good effect, or they are responsible for that cure. So what we do is that we take those leaves, we take to the laboratory, correct? and analyze how many components are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25 components are there. Correct. Now insert all those 25 components to different species and see which one is the most effective. Correct? Yeah. So we ensure that we are pinpointing a particular compound which is effective for that particular defect, disease, and we try to synthesize it, or we try to enhance its potency. Like we can go on having some different groups. Maybe carboxyl group is there, we will esterify it. Correct. We will oxidize it. We will attach some other molecule to it, and we try to ensure that its potency is increased. Correct. No, in the process, what has happened is that whenever Mother Nature manufactures certain medicinal plants, correct, Mother Nature is aware that whatever this medicinal plant or whatever that medicinal compound is there also has some side effects. Correct. Now, Mother Nature produces antidote in that same plant. So, when you used to take a natural product, we used to take that medicinal compound, plus we used to take antidote also. Correct? Yeah. Just to give you a simple example, correct? Most of you are aware that, do you eat this groundnut, shengdana? Correct? Do you remove the peel outside? Heat it and then remove the peel? No, no, no. Most of the things, even you just go and buy this thing, so what they will do is that first of all, you will remove those peels. Now, are you aware that there are natural antidotes available in the peel of a peanut? Correct? Which we are discarding. Correct? And then we'll end up with lots of problems related with the pitta and all those things. So we say, no, no, we should not eat it. If you eat entire that particular compound, you will not have a problem. So this is what it is. And just to have a real life example about this concentration of potency and ill effects. Correct? Sunlight, is it harmful? Sunlight, you are always exposed to the sunlight. Correct? Yeah. It is not harmful. Maybe there may be some tanning, so you take care of with putting creams and whatnot. Correct? So it is there. We are aware about it. Yeah. So same sunlight, you just put a convex lens in between. Correct? And let that focus be on your screen. Will you be able to tolerate for more than 2 minutes or 3 minutes? Even a paper burn, no? Even in our school days, we had that experiment that you put a convex lens in front of a sunlight, put a paper, correct, depending on its this thing, and it literally burns. So what is happening that it is concentrating all the heat, correct, and creating a problem. No, is logically the same thing may be happening to our drug compounds also. Yeah. So that is the reason why it endorses a thing that we need to look after for something else, which will have a better, say, better ill effects or better side effects. Correct. So it's okay. We can study the yoga therapy, naturopathy, and natural living. The second question that came to my mind is that why yoga is gaining more and more acceptance worldwide? Correct. Everywhere, all over the world, we are celebrating Yoga Day all over the world. And probably, I'm just giving a practical thing. You go to Google search, correct, and type a word yoga. What is the first information you get? Do you know? Yoga is so many $1 billion industry in USA. Yoga is so many $1 billion industry in USA. Correct. Yeah. So we right now we are trying to understand yoga as a part of materialistic. We should move away from materialism, and we are finally landing up with correlating with the material gains only. Okay? So philosophically, let us understand what is the reason why it is gaining importance, because yoga is primarily a philosophy. So let us understand philosophically what is it. So there is some concept called as a root cause analysis. Those who have done, those who are doing maybe ISO or even in our normal course also. Correct. Root cause analysis means, suppose if you have a problem, correct? Yeah. Suppose if your light goes off, your tube light is not working. So what is the problem? Tube lights are not working. Correct. So we bring another 10 tube lights and again put it. Again they get cranked off. Correct. So you have provided a solution. but you have not gone to the root of the problem. So then over a period of time, you say that, wherever my main fuse is there is some problem. Correct. And that's the reason why my fuse are going. That is what is called as the root cause analysis. What is the root of a problem that you are facing? Let us analyze it, eliminate that root. Correct. Then your problem gets resolved permanently. Right? So what is the problem as far as the, most of the problem that exist at micro level and macro. Micro means ourselves and macro means worldwide. Correct? So what exactly is the problem? You will observe that the major problem which exists in family, in office, in society, in state, in nation, at international level is the ego of somebody. Right or wrong? Correct? It is the ego of somebody. Correct? Somebody had ego which got disturbed. Correct? And just naturally you have to take a revenge for it. Correct? Yeah. So then you magnify that problem and land up with more and more problems. Correct? No, philosophically, correct? What exactly is the decision-making process that we should follow? That all the information is captured by our jnanendriyas, correct? Then it goes to your mind. Mind gives you a first filter, whether it is right now it is necessary or it is not necessary. Correct? Like say, for example, right now your eyes are seeing all the things, no? They are seeing the wall, they are seeing all these boards. But mind itself says, no, it is not required. Focus on what is projected. Focus on who is talking. Correct? So that is the first filter. Then after mind, that filtered information goes a stage further. And that is what we call as the ahankar. Correct? Yeah. So ahankar does what? All this information is there. But it is relevant for me. I am focused, no? I am interested. Correct? So is it relevant to me? If it is not relevant, it is filtered. Correct? Like you are waiting at a signal. What is your focus? The eyes are capturing the signal pole also, adjoining buildings also, so many advertisements also. Correct? And the signal red or green also. Correct? Yeah. But what is it that you are focusing on? Only on the color of the signal. Because rest of the things are not important right now for me. Right now for me, it is not important. Correct? So that is the second filter. After this filtration process goes, it goes further to the buddhi, intellect, where the decision making takes place. Correct? Now, what we do is that instead of making a decision at the level of buddhi, we try to make decision at the level of ahankar. Whether it is good for me, yeah, it is good. Go ahead. But it is good right now. Whether it is good for me in long run, that I am not bothered. Correct. So the same thing happens everywhere. I said even for ourselves it happens, in our family it happens, in office it happens, in at every stage it happens. Correct. Now, do you mean say that Trump is not aware that doing all these kind of economical great inventions, correct? He is going to drag all the people in a such a situation where the life will be miserable. But he has an ego. Means I also have ego, you also have ego. Don't feel that all of us we have an ego. At that time, we should use your intellect, whether it is good for the country per se in long run, or it is a short-term thing. Correct? So that process we are trying to violate. And then what happens is that in philosophical term, whenever we talk about ego, we represent it by capital I. We represent it by capital I. Correct? So ego, capital I, leads to conflicts. Ego leads to conflict, correct? Even in your house also you must have observed. In your office also you must have observed. Ego leads to conflicts. And conflicts leads to D. ICD axis, I call it. I is ego, C is a conflict, D is a so many things. Diseases, disturbances, disastrous results, whatever it may be. There are maximum number of disastrous words starting from D. Just take out any dictionary and see it yourself. The negative words maximum starts with D. Correct? So as per this ICD axis, finally we land up with more and more problem. Correct? So what is the solution to it? How you should remember? Remembrance is very easy because as I said, I want you to make some change in your life. So from tomorrow onwards, Now, how many of you have read the message that I sent you along with the presentation? Did you notice anything there? When I refer to it, I am forwarding here with I is small, not big. That means not that I don't have ego, but I want to pretend as if I don't have ego. Correct. Yeah. Let us be honest to each other. Yeah. So can you bring this change in your own life from tomorrow onwards? Whenever you start writing any sentence, when you are saying that I am going to, movie, I am going for a movie, I am going to eat, I am going to do this, that I you start using a small I and not big I. But please remember, we have advanced technologically so much that neither your computer nor your smartphone, will allow you to do a small I. There is some function called as auto correction. So computer says he's not in his senses. Let me correct. So he will correct it. Yeah. So you will have to take special pains to remember that no, I would like to take a small I, and then you have to find out your own ways and means to ensure that you use that small I. Another thing that I would like to tell, because we also have commercial mind, no? Correct? That I just, carefully observing, various most successful products in the world. And maybe it's a coincidence, but most successful products have small I. iPhone, iPad, Intel I chips, correct? And even in Reliance, the I is small. Correct. So commercially also probably it makes some sense because the moment you don't have ego, na, your relationship is excellent, and then probably you mutually you can have lots of benefits. Correct. So make one resolution at least today that henceforth whenever I'll write I will try to write a small I, so that will act as some kind of a reminder that I should have. So here I quote, another very intellectual person. He's an economist, correct? Professor Jeffrey Sachs. If you put on, this thing on YouTube, anybody has listened to his videos. So that is there in, shared notes also. Just put his name and you will find so many videos, correct? Excellent videos even on today's situation, correct? So he says that if we can avoid conflicts in this era of technological advancement, correct? Yeah, he is a professor of economy, but he can deliver lecture on anything. He can deliver lecture on history. He can deliver lecture on today's world problem. He can deliver lecture on artificial intelligence. He can deliver anything. So he's such a versatile personality, and I will strongly recommend at least one lecture you know listen of Professor Jeffrey Sachs. So he said that if we can avoid conflict in this era of technological advancement, we will make this world a better, happier, and peaceful place to live. Correct. So it is all the my time, all the this thing. It is very important for us to ensure that again a reminder that from today onwards I will try to reduce my ego. Right? For that, whenever I write I will write a small I. So that is as a reminder that my ego should not be there. Now, when this ego, why this, ego and mind and all those things that we are discussing? Because even today, as per any medical, reports which are published globally, correct? They have classified more than 50% of the diseases as psychosomatic. Psychosomatic. Psycho means the main root cause is in the mind. Even in the field of yoga, correct? Yeah. So you will learn something about panchakoshas. And at that time, you will be told that any disease that you will observe, correct, originates in Manomaya Kosha. It originates as a thought. Then when it manifests at the physical level, at Annamaya Kosha, you come to know that this is what is the disease to me. Correct? Yeah. So it makes some sense. Now, can anyone give me an example of a psychosomatic disease that you have suffered in your own life? You'll shy, you'll feel shy. And nobody washes our dirty clothes in the in the public, right? But I will just, give you one small reminder. Correct? All of you are very intelligent. You agree? Correct? You have appeared for so many exams. You agree? And you have successfully completed them. Yes or no? Yes, no? Correct. Yeah. So be brutally honest to yourself. At least once in your lifetime, I'm saying. Okay? Once in your lifetime. just a day before the exam, did you have some symptoms like headache, some dryness in the mouth, some disturbed digestion, loose motions? Correct. So if you accept, you are honest. And if you never have, correct, then you have to decide what you are. Okay? Every one of us suffer. Now, is it so that at that time we have not studied, we were not prepared for the exam? It is not so. In your mind, there are lots of analysis which is going on. I have studied a lot, correct? But really, I don't know what I studied will come at the time of exam, or it will be something else. Some cranky chap will put something else which I have not studied. Then what? Correct. Okay, I have studied. The same questions have come. But will I be able to really, recollect whatever I have studied? And will I be able to transfer it? Correct? Yeah. So all those, ifs and buts, they are going on in your mind. And that's the reason why we always are worried about, these things. So we should be careful about it. Yeah. Now, there is another thing that I am talking about is drugs versus smell. Correct? This is just this thing to endorse that why yoga should be studied. First is that, smell is one first S starts stressless. Now, do you have some stress in your life? Do you have some stress in your life? If you are honest, you will say yes. Correct? I'm saying it has to be there, yeah. Because even if you don't have any stress in your own life, correct, there are other people who will make you stressful, right or not? They don't feel happy, no? That this fellow is very happy, yeah. I must ensure that he also gets stressed like me. Correct? Yeah. So stress less. That is what is the message given by yoga. Next, M starts moderate movement. Whenever you are doing asanas and all those things, the movements are very moderate. Correct? They are not exasperating. Correct? So moderation is the key in our life. Anything in excess is bad. Anything in excess is bad. Correct? Third is E. Eat well. Don't eat well so well that you swell. Correct? Eat well means whatever is required, you eat quantitatively and qualitatively. And that is what will be focused in our interaction as far as the naturopathy and natural livings are concerned. And last L is love more. Yoga also teaches you to love more. No? Even in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it is written that how you can get your chitta prasanna by Maitri. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upekshanam, Sukha, Dukha, Punya, Apunya, Vishayanam. Bhavana, Chitta Prasadanam. Yeah. So the moment you start having a Maitri with all the people, then that is more. And mark my words, correct? Now, starting with the L, there is going to be an epidemic, I am saying, epidemic of a disease called as a loneliness in this world. Correct? A disease called as a loneliness. And the moment you feel I am alone, nobody is interested in my well-being, nobody wants to listen to me. Correct? I feel that the purpose of living itself is lost. Correct? So yoga has a miraculous, methodologies to work on all these things. Even Osho has defined illness. He says ill, I-L-L. Actually, it represents I lack love. If somebody near and dear to me is there, he loves me, he takes care of me, I get recovered faster. Correct. And if I am just put into five-star hospital, correct, nobody is coming to there, I get depressed because my adjoining patients, they have a series of visitors who are coming. Nobody comes to me. So what is it that has happened? Correct. My importance is lost in this world. So there is no worth. It is not worth living at all. Now, the emerging thought in the current medical system is that no, where drugs are necessary, when the drugs are necessary, when alternatives are better, alternative lifestyle adjustments and all those things, and when allow your body itself to heal, without having any interaction. No, I'm not just trying to blame the medical professionals. I'm honestly saying, even we as a patients are also to be blamed for that. We are very, nowadays, you have ample of information, correct, on Google. And suppose when you have disease, correct, you are focused on that. So many a times, you know about that disease more than the doctor himself. That is what is the fact of life. You are doing a lot of research, no? doing a lot of research, lot of research. So I say that, we are aware about one term in economics which is called as GDP, gross domestic production, correct? No, I say that GDP stands in the field of, our field as Google doctor patient. Google doctor patient, correct? And don't get surprised, even when I am sitting here and, so many patients come for consultancy, correct? They ask, okay, I have this backache. Do you feel I should go and take a MRI? I said, I am not a qualified person to decide here. I am not a qualified person, correct? I cannot recommend you, and you don't decide. And I tell them honestly, MRI is not a methodology for investigation. MRI is a methodology for a surgeon to plan your surgery so that he can plan your surgery with minimum invasion. Correct? And then I tell them that even if you take a MRI today and after 6 months you are to be operated, the surgeon will say, we'll have to take a MRI again. Correct? So only because the insurance company is reimbursing all the expenses, you did not go through all those things. Yeah. So as the patients themselves are also to be, patient means all of us are to be blamed for that. Now the next question that I had in mind is that, whether yoga is philosophy or therapy. See, yoga is a ancient science, is it not? Yeah. And what is the ultimate aim? Samadhi. Now, how many of you are interested in samadhi? No, no, see, don't laugh here. Suppose if you raise your hand, na, so I have power of attorney ready. So all your assets you get transferred to my name. Correct? So at least I will ensure that I will go to Samadhi. If 10 of you transfer all your assets, now I will go to Samadhi state, definitely. Yeah. So ultimate end is Samadhi. Correct? And those who are very intellectuals in the field of yoga, correct? They say that you are the people. You are the people who have diluted this ancient science by considering that yoga is a therapy. You will come across these kind of people also when you really start doing the yoga therapy practices. Correct? So we should also understand whether that is a valid question or we have some answer for that. But therapy per se, by definition, is any treatment designed to improve the health parameter or disability or to cure illness. And philosophy is a search of knowledge. Correct? So these are two different terms that we have. Now, if at all you would like to understand, correct, I will give you an example that Nimbalkar Guruji always used to give for this particular question. Correct? And very practical example. Let us say that, you are in Mumbai, correct? And you would like to go to, let us say, maybe Surat or Baroda. Correct? Yeah. So is it necessary that you must catch a train which terminates at Surat? Is it necessary? Or you can take a train which is going to Delhi also. Correct? Yeah. So you can board a train at Delhi, take a ticket of Surat and get down at Surat. Is it all right? Perfect? Yeah. So yoga is a train which is going, final destination is Samadhi. Correct? But for commoners, we have taken ticket of physical and mental health. So get down at that particular stop. What is wrong in it? So application of yoga from therapeutic aspects of it, correct, is not at all against. And then you also need some kind of a proof from the ancient text, because ancient text describe yoga as a samadhi, correct? Even the Vyasabhasya text, yuja means samadhi only. Yuja is samadhi, correct? So you must also understand whether it is there. The first thing is that, even in Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Vyadhi word is there. Correct? Whenever the antaraya is established, obstacles on the path of spiritual life, correct? Vyadhi, Sthana, Samshaya, Pramada, Alasya, correct? So there are 9 obstacles which are described. So Vyadhi has been described, correct? So when it is described, correct, there must be some methodology to use yoga for eradication of them. If you study or go a step still deeper, correct, and you go on studying the Vyasabhashya, what is Vyadhi as per ancient text? Tatra Vyadhi Dhatu Rasa Karanam Vaishamyam. That means there is a disturbance or equilibrium of human, child, and organs of body. So whenever there is disturbance, we call it as a Vyadhi. Vachaspati Tika still goes further, and then it goes very close to the science of Ayurveda. It says it is a disturbance of uh, Kapha, Vata, and Pitta. 3 doshas that Ayurveda describes. Whenever there is a disturbance, there is a disease. Whenever there is equanimity, you are enjoying a good health. Now, Hatha Pradipika of Swami Atmaram, correct? The fifth chapter in Hatha Pradipika. The title of the chapter itself is Aushadha Kathanam Nam. The book is on yoga. Full chapter is devoted only for Aushadha Kathanam Nama. And then it talks about your problems and what are the asanas or pranayama that you are supposed to do for taking care of the problems. Correct? Ghiranda Samhita uses term rogo or vyadhi almost more than 30 times in that text. So all the texts that we consider as a standard text as far as the yoga ancient wisdom is concerned, correct? They talk about vyadhi. So here I would like to give you some word of caution. What happens is that when I say that it talks about vyadhi, correct? It talks about vyadhi only for the diseases which are existing there. Am I right or wrong? Correct. Now, if somebody starts saying that even for corona there is some asana and pranayam which can get cured, corona was not there, my dear friend here. So how you can correlate? You can try, and it may have positive results. I'm not saying, but you cannot say it is there in the text. Correct. So then we become a laughing stuff. Correct. That should not happen. That is what is my request to you. Correct. Now, another question that immediately cropped up in my mind is that suppose if we say that it is such an ancient old wisdom, maybe at least say 5,000-year-old, correct? So why is it so? It was not that popular. If it is such a beautiful science, correct? Yeah, yoga is a science, correct? It is a science. So it was there 5,000 years ago. So why it is not so popular? That means there must be some lacuna in it. Why it did not become popular? Correct? Yeah. So answer lies in our in understanding. First is that this particular thing that yoga abhyas at that time was only for the ashramites. Do you get? So you have to give up everything. You have to go and stay with your guru. Correct? So 24/7 you are there. Maybe 5 years, 10 years, whatever it may be. Correct? So you adopt a particular lifestyle which is there in the ashram. Correct? So with all those things, correct, which are not possible today or which were not possible for other people. And that's the reason why they were not teaching all these things to any Tom, Dick and Harry. It was restricted only for the people who are staying in the ashrams. Correct? There has to be some pre-qualification. No? Some pre-qualification is there. Correct? Now suppose, our friend was trying to help us that how the presentation can be done. He said, I don't know what is this laptop. Probably he can't say, start teaching me what is this laptop, how it is to be used, how it is to be switched on. He said, these are the basic understandings, sir. If you don't have, probably I will take lecture today and you just relax for 2 hours or so. So basic understanding, if it is not there, correct, you can't teach. Correct? And that's the reason it was not taught to each and everybody. Secondly, we always had that kind of a thought in our this thing, that if at all you have some kind of a knowledge, you have knowledge, correct? And you start using it for the selfish motives. Correct? The effects are diminishing. Yeah, at that time, the systems were different. The doctors were not charging to the patient, but patients were taking care of all the expenses of doctor's family. Somebody will give them rice, somebody will give wheat, somebody will give them vegetables, somebody will give them oil. Correct? So whatever his basic needs are there, they are taken care of by the people, villagers. Correct? So it was like a barter system. Today's barter system is only in terms of money. Correct? And nothing else. Yeah. So at that time it was like that. And that's the reason why it didn't become so popular. Now the Ganpatis are coming, correct? So there is some stotra called as or something that we recite called as a Ganpati Atharva Shirsha. Are you aware of it? Anybody aware of it? Correct? So there is one shlok. Correct? When you, at least this Ganpati, when you recite that stroke, you will try and understand and remember me. It says, Idam Atharva Shirsham. Idam Atharva Shirsham. Anybody knows the next line?
स्पीकर बंद कर दे.
So very good. Idam Atharva Shirsham. Ashishya Nade. Idam Atharva Shirsham. Ashishya Nade. One who is not qualified to learn this. Please don't teach him. Yo yadi mohat dasyati. Sa papiyan bhavati. So if you teach somebody who is not qualified, who cannot understand, not qualified in the sense he cannot understand. Correct? Yeah. So then, suppose if you would like to learn Ganpati Sutra and you don't know what is God, he said, no, no, I don't believe in God. I am a God. As far as my life is concerned, I am God. Now, can you teach Ganpati Atharva to these gentlemen? Correct? Yeah. So it says like that. So, this year, whenever you recite that Ganpati Atharva, please remember that. Now, let us come back to the basic concept of disease. What is the concept of disease? So all the questions we will take after lecture because I am not a good orator. So I get disturbed, in between many questions are there. By end of this thing, and even I will wait after 8:30 also. Don't worry about it. Right? You can write to me also if I don't answer. Yeah. So what is the concept of disease? These are all the things that I have listed. Correct? What are the allopathy, Ayurveda, and naturopathy, acupressure, and all those things. So if you carefully observe, no, except allopathy, for all other pathies, correct? The reason is internal. Only in allopathy it is external. Correct? Now, when your problem is external, you try to find out solution also which is external. No? Correct? And even nowadays, our mental state is such that if at all the problem is external, like disease, correct? Yeah. So if you start taking anything else and you allow nature to heal, correct? It will not be possible. It will take a very, very long time. And our life is limited, no? Yeah. So tomorrow morning I have a meeting, very important, crucial meeting. Correct? Yeah. So I have to attend it. So today I have a fever. So what I should do? Get up, crossing and go and attend the meeting. Yeah. So today our mental state also says that it is absolutely necessary for us to take a resource in the external solution. And there is a crisis of faith. You don't believe your own body. That body itself has a mechanism to cure itself. We don't have faith in it here. Correct? And that's the reason why we are depending more and more on the external sources. Now, what is the concept of disease in yoga therapy? Now, you have a mind, you have a body, and you have a intellect. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Your body, your mind, and you have an intellect. Correct? Now, are they interacting within your body, mind, and intellect? Are they interacting? Consciousness interacting? Yeah. It is interacting. Is it interacting with the external world also? No. See, do you get more sweating at the time of summer? Yeah. And do you pass more urine at the time of winter? So why is it so? You are same. You are same, no? Yeah. But body is intelligent. It understands that during the summer I am passing all that excess of water produced within by way of sweat. And I am keeping my body cool. In winter, it is not necessary for me to sweat. So I will have to pass through the urine. Correct? Because water is a byproduct that we produce whenever you burn glucose. It is produced within our body. It should be thrown out. Correct? So this is what is a interaction with us and with the whole of the universe. Correct? More of that we will learn when we have lectures on these Panchamahabhutas and all those things. Correct? Yeah. So there the concept should be more and more clear. I think next Saturday only it will be this thing. So how does the yoga works? There is something system called as a homeostasis. Homeostasis means your body itself has, all the methodology to take care of the problems. To take care of the problems, correct? So because we have lost faith in the ability of the body to, cure itself, we are trying to adopt the external sources, correct? That internal system which is there, which is called as the homeostasis, yoga works on that principle. Correct? Now, just for understanding the principle of homeostasis, it is not a real example of homeostasis. But as I said, unless and until we correlate with our day-to-day life examples, the concepts are not very clear. Correct? So I would like to give one simple example, which is not a real example of homeostasis, but which will make the conceptual clearance of that phrase. Correct? Suppose if you purchase a new shoe, or chappal, any footwear, correct? And you start using it. And it so happened that at one particular point, it is pricking you continuously. Has it happened any time in your life? Yeah, it happens, correct? So it is pricking at a particular point. So what do you do? Throw the chappal. No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but if you are walking then and you don't have bandage, then what do you do? Does your walking style gets readjusted? The point at which it is pricking, correct? You readjust your walking style in such a way, correct? That pressure is not there. The moment pressure is reduced, the pain is reduced. Correct. And maybe over a period of time, then you can put a band-aid, you can put, do so many things. Correct. But the first response by nature is that we will readjust the pressure on that particular area. Correct. So same kind of a thing works in our entire body. Whenever there is a disturbance, the body has a capacity to, go back to this thing. Correct. And I will just give you one, very interesting uh, story or real life incidents. Correct. So once a mother came to the our institute and she said that I am having a problem of obesity. Correct? So somebody said that you follow yoga, so why not? Let us try it out. Correct. So we gave a recommendation that this is to be done, this asana, this pranayama, this, that. Everything was there. And then not because of our recommendation, but because of her sincerity and because of the wisdom in the ancient science of yoga, she got very good results. Correct. So she developed some kind of a faith. Maybe 3, 4 months later, she came back. She came back with her daughter. She said she is underweight. Her problem was obesity. Daughter's problem is underweight. What is to be done? So we recommended this. And she was happy. She said, now it is over. The next day evening, she comes back to the office. She says, this is my prescription for reducing the weight. This is my daughter's prescription for increasing the weight. Both of them are same. What is it that you are doing? Yeah. Do you have some kind of a medicine which, jokingly we used to say in the hostels that, if you have fever, red medicine, khasi, blue medicine, that medicine. Are you working in that particular thing? Then we have to explain it to her that we are not doing anything. Actually, it is in your own body. It understands that this is what is my problem. Correct. And I need to work on it. What we are trying to do is we are just triggering that particular internal thing system that is there. We are not doing anything special. And because you are following it very seriously, you are getting the results. That credit doesn't go to us. Credit goes to you for follow. So homeostasis is something that you have to understand. That is basically a plus point of yoga plus. Another thing that we should talk about as far as the yoga is concerned, it is called as a Purnavad. Purnavad in the sense that just to understand, suppose if you go to a doctor, correct, and you say that I am having some pain in my wrist joint, correct. What is it that doctor examines? He examines thoroughly, all right from head to toe. He only examines wrist, no? If he has any doubt, then he will take a X-ray of wrist or entire body. X-ray. So this is what we call it as a, very focused attempt at the problem, correct? At the disease, at the site of a problem, correct? Yoga doesn't do that. Yoga says you have a problem, correct? Correct. But then why, what has caused this particular problem? That let us understand. Because this problem is not of only your right wrist. The problem is of your entire body. You as a total person, you are facing the problem, no? Correct? Yeah. So what is it that you have done? Last, say, 1 week or so, any specific activity that you have done, any specific problem, you had a fall or anything of that sort. Correct? And then maybe, some of your student, well, you will not do it, but some of your students, expert teacher student, he or she says that, no, I have joined a yoga class and they are teaching me Mayurasana. So they told me to have this and do it. I told them I am not able to do it. No, you have to do it. Madam, it is must. In the exam, you will not get marks. You do it. I did it and now I have started this particular problem. Now tell me, taking an X-ray and doing all those things, correct? Will it resolve the problem? Or we have to tell them that your wrists are not strong enough. Not that it is bad, it is good. But your wrists are not that strong enough to take that load. So first you develop that particular strength. So that is the reason why, all the practices, gradually we try to teach you. Uh, it is a stage-wise program, correct? 4 stages we take you to the final stage, correct? So if that is not done, then that creates a problem. So what is it that Purnava said? The whole universe, as I said, the whole universe is made up of certain elements, correct? So are we made of the same elements? If you are a chemistry person, correct? Yeah. So you will say that, everything that exists in this universe, I can pinpoint that it is from the periodic table. Yes or no? Correct. If you are a physicist, you say everything that exists in this universe, it is some form of energy. Yes or no? So depending on your background, correct, you will conclude how the world is, right? Correct. Yeah. But in short, the entire world and you, the basic composition is same, right? Yeah. No, as long as both of you are having a harmonious relationship, you will enjoy the life, right or wrong? Correct. No, the moment that equanimity, that balance get disturbed, the stage will be called as a disease, right? And right now I said that, say, when I said that, even in Panchamahabhuta, we will try to learn about it. Correct? Now tell me why you are sitting under the fan. Is it a practical thing that whenever you come, correct, you try to ensure that, let us see whether the fan is there or not. So why you are sitting under the fan? हाँ, गर्म नहीं होना चाहिए, correct. So गर्म नहीं होता, फैन से क्या मतलब है? गर्म नहीं होना चाहिए तो उसको फैन से क्या मतलब है? So there is a circulation of air which is taking place. If at all you are feeling hot, the nature knows that I have to reduce the temperature of the body. So there is some kind of a perspiration which is there. No, perspiration when it is evaporating, does it need energy? Yeah, that energy is drawn from your own body, correct? And that is how your temperature is maintained. No, can you accelerate that evaporation? Yes or no? Can you accelerate that evaporation? Can you accelerate the evaporation in your kitchen? How? By putting it in the oven, by heat, correct? So you know that evaporation can be accelerated by heat, correct? Likewise, can it be accelerated by the wind also? Yeah. What is your exam? What is your experience about clothes getting dried in a closed room and in an open area? Cloth is same, correct? Everything is same. Water is same, correct? But if you close all your windows, will it dry faster, or the moment there is a ventilation, it is faster? It is faster, no? So that is what is the thing that you are doing when you are trying to sit near the fan. Is it correct? So this kind of a thinking has to be developed. My request to you is that whatever we are doing, there is some kind of a science behind it. It is up to us to think about it and try and find out. So the moment you know that these are 5 elements with which the universe is made and I am made, correct? That will maybe study in the next Saturday, correct? So the moment all of us are in the same this thing, then we will not have any problem. Okay? So Purnavas talks about it is not only a problem of that particular site of your body, but in entirety, I have to see you as a patient, and that is what it is. Even, I will give you an example like, say, you are all aware that, whenever you have a problem detected as hyperthyroid, thyroid is excreting more and more hormones, correct? So then you take a medication, and that medication is such a beautiful thing that every day morning till you die, every day morning you have to religiously take it, correct? And then in between again you have to go and check up with the doctor, correct? So you will go on increasing the dose, correct? Because your body gets accumulated to that, no? Yeah. But then are you aware why thyroid is excreting that hormone? Why it is excreting? The basic signal is coming from your pituitary gland. Pituitary gland sends a signal to thyroid, correct? To release the hormone. It is good. It is not bad. It is good. So it gives you a signal. And are you aware that pituitary gland gets disturbed by stress? Yeah. So what may be the problem of a person? The problem may be stress. It has something to do with the mind. It is something to do with the coping mechanism. So unless you tackle that, correct, then you will be only dependent on the drug. Correct. So this is what we should have a changed attitude. That is what I mean. Correct. Now immediately the question that you should ask is that when you are saying that it is a Purna one, the whole person is one. Correct. And now we have received a timetable. And in that, we have 4 systems which are being broken into. And all throughout the year, we are going to study the entire thing in therapy in terms of 8 systems. So why this fragmented approach? Correct. That means either what you are saying Purnavad is wrong or what we are studying is wrong. Either of the things are wrong. Correct. It is not so. Both are correct. What happens is that when you start learning about it, so suppose if I say, what is the problem? Problem is with the entire body. Problem is with the entire body. Heart problem with the entire body. Mental problem with the entire body. Anything entire. So you really don't get any kind of a clarity. So for better understanding, we have divided. Correct? We have divided into 8 systems, and we have 8 different, doctors who will be delivering the lectures on those particular systems. Correct? However, as a yoga therapist, correct, you have to remember that there are 3 types of effect that are described in our book: local, allied, and uh, uh, this thing. Correct? Now, your recommendation may be on the basis of local effects. Your recommendation may be on the basis of local effect. But as a yoga therapist, what should be your target? Is on the central. Correct? The whole thing has to change. Correct? So that is what is the answer for this particular question. It is not a fragmented approach, but it is a for better understanding we have divided it into systems. Correct? Now, what is the motivational role of a yoga therapist? What is the motivational role of a yoga therapist? First is that the patient's willingness is a must. Correct? In the field of medical sciences, correct, if somebody is on the fast, correct, and he's almost fainted, what doctors will do, what policeman will do? He will catch hold of him, admit him to the hospital, put him on saline, and save his life. Yes or no? It is there. They will do it. Correct? Yeah. No, unless that is possible, even if he is not willing to undergo the treatment, we can force him. Can you do the same thing to yoga? I come to your class for learning, correct? And you say, okay, you sit here. Okay, I have said. Then, no, you now spread your leg. Okay. Then you raise your leg. I don't do anything. I'm not willing to do anything at all. Will you be able to teach me? Correct. So your first role is to ensure that your patient is willing to learn. Correct. He should get some interest. That is what is important. Second thing that you will have to understand is that symptomatic treatment that we take, correct, is for a very short period of time. Like say, suppose if you have a headache, what is it that you will do? You have a headache. You have a slight fever and headache. What is it that you will do? You will gallop. Pre-COVID, we used to gallop crocin. So after crocin, we have decided to gallop dolo. But both are paracetamols. Correct. So we have decided to gallop a this thing. Now, once that headache is vanished, you continue to have paracetamol for your lifetime. You continue to have your, now there is no problem, so we will not do it. No, can I do the same thing for yoga base also? Can I do the same thing for yoga base also? I had a problem, I come to you, the problem gets resolved. Now I am free. I go back to my original lifestyle. I start doing the same thing that I was doing. Or you don't expect me to do that. You expect that, whatever you have learned, correct, has to be that discipline, correct, that control on the diet, that regular movement, regular yoga base has to be done, correct. And that is why even Patanjali Yoga Sutra talks about abhyas. As Satu Dirghakala Nairantarya, Satkara Asevita Drudabhumi. So you have to do it for a long period without any interruption. Honestly, there is no Saturday, Sunday off for yoga abhyas. It is only in the corporate houses. We don't have this thing. Our mother have a Saturday, Sunday off? She used to cook, no, all the 6 days. Likewise, you have to do yoga base every day. First, you have to do it, and that you should be able to communicate to the people. Correct. No, special attention has to be, paid to the impatient patients. Impatient patients means like, say they come to you and they say, this is what is my problem. And madam, I have only 15 days. Because after 15 days, I am going, for a visit or tour for abroad. Correct. So 15 days, I want to get rid of problem. Is it possible? It is not possible. No? So you can tell him that this is what is the problem. This is what is the solution. I will just try to, introduce you to what are the things to be done. Correct. But then you will have to do it even when you go somewhere else. Correct. This is what is, very, very important. Uh, so first is the continuity and second is, yeah. So when we talk about even for the naturopathy and, natural living, the lecture is till 8 o'clock or 8:30? 8:30. Sorry. Yeah. So developing the acceptance of the limitations of means, like, whenever we recommend that, you please have one of your diet, correct? Only vegetables or only fruits, correct? Now, when that kind of a recommendation we are giving, correct, then there is a WhatsApp university which is to be opened to do a lot of research. And there are n number of videos which say that all the vegetables which are available in Mumbai, they are dipped in that green color dye. Yeah. So is it a fact? It is not a fact. It may be happening at some places, but it is not everywhere. No? But one who don't want to follow it, like a notorious person like me, correct? I will rely on that information, come back to you and say, Madam, you said, but this is like a poison. Vegetables are like poison, no? And you are asking me to have every day. That is not correct. Yeah. So it needs to be communicated to them that these are the problems, these are the things that you have to do, and you have to adhere to all those things. And that now today we are actually, we want everything. The costliest time in city like Mumbai is time. Do you have time to do anything? And that's why all the products which reduce your time now are most popular. Why Maggie is popular? 2 minutes. Within 2 minutes. Correct? Yeah. Why pizza is popular? 15 minutes you get delivery. Now you see everything. All the advertisements which are coming, correct? They try to cut short on the delivery period. You give a call and within 15 minutes it is at door. If you don't get, free. Correct? Yeah. So when we are living in this particular area, obviously then, we are part of this society. So all these things also have a act on our mind. And we also need something which are very, very fast results. Correct? Now we come to the second, next point, which is the limitations of yoga therapy. Yeah? Now don't try to look at it from a negative perspective. Correct? Limitation is not a negative word. It is a subjective word. Correct? Now, what do I mean by subjective? Let us again, talk about some story. Correct? A story of a boy and a father. So, father was teaching a boy how to fly a kite. Correct? Yeah. So he taught, and then the kid was flying the kite, and then it went up, and up. And the kid said, "No, daddy, I want to go it still up, still up, still up." He says, "It won't. Be careful, don't do that." He said, "No, daddy. Actually, it's a basic problem is that you attach that string to it. The string is pulling it down. Otherwise, it would have gone up." Right? No, logically, he's right. No, correct? Yeah. And nowadays, the only thing that you have to learn is that you should not never argue with the kids. Correct? They are the wisest people on the earth today. Correct? So they will go on teaching you. So this daddy was also smart. So he said that there is no point in arguing. Correct. And gone are the days when suppose if I would have told my father that the string is putting it down, he would have slapped me. He said, "You don't know anything. What I am saying is the right thing." Today it is not possible. Correct. At least in our country, it is not a scenario wherein the kids are taught in the school to dial police number if somebody says so. Correct. So these are very great social problems in the developed countries. The kids are taught. that you dial this number and tell them that my mother is slapping me. So immediately within 2 minutes, the policeman will take the mother and they will take care of her. Correct? Yeah. So instead of arguing, what he said is that, okay, my dear friend, I will just let us do one experiment. He said, okay, yeah, do. So he just went home, he bought some scissor and cut the thread. He said, this is what is holding, no? Correct? So I will cut it. Then it will go up. Then it crumble down. Correct? So whatever is holding up is also responsible for bringing it down. So limitation itself is a subjective term. From my perspective, what is limitation may not be a limitation from your perspective. So don't try to understand any limitation in terms of the negative sense. Correct? First of all, every science has limitation. Is there any science which has no limitation? Every science has a limitation. Now the beauty is that we try and understand the limitations. We work on it and we get rid of that limitation to land up with another limitation. Right or wrong? Correct? Petrol is a problem. It is emitting, lots of emissions are there. So we have come out with electric cars. Correct? But now we are landing up with the problems of electric cars because charging is taking too much of time. Correct? So now we will bring out some methodology by which instead of 2 hours, the charging will take place in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Correct? So there is a limitation, but limitation is, studied, worked on, and we get rid of that limitation. Correct? So try and understand that even for yoga, since it is a science, there are limitations, and that's perfectly all right to have some kind of a limitations. Correct? You have to remember that yoga is a fantastic science which can give miraculous results. I'm not exaggerating. I'm honestly saying, which can give miraculous results, correct? Whenever there is a conflict between you and the environment. Environment may be your family, environment may be your office, environment may be your state, environment may be, international. Yoga can give you miraculous results because the conflict resolution is possible by sublimation of ego. Correct? So it can give miraculous results. But is it helpful even in case of emergencies? It is not. It is not helpful for emergencies. In emergencies, like say you have loose motions, correct? Yeah. So what the hospital will do is that they will put you on a saline. So whatever salt and the water that you have lost, that is replenished. You met with an accident. You need water, madam. Yeah, I can give you if you want. No, no, you are all my customers, no? So I should serve you. Yeah. So suppose if you meet some accident, correct? In yoga, there is no solution. In allopathy, there is a solution. You can have blood transfusion and you can save his life. Correct? Now, I jokingly give you an example. Suppose if I have delivered a talk for 2 hours, 2 hours, correct? And I am such a good orator that I have convinced you that yoga therapy is the only therapy which should be followed in this world. Correct? Allopathy is bhankas. Everything is bad. Only yoga. Correct? And touch wood, it should not happen. You are all my friends, no? Correct? So you don't expect me to have heart attack right now. Yes or no? Yeah. But just for the sake of argument, let us see that I have heart attack and I collapsed. You are expert yoga teacher, yoga therapist, gold medalist. Correct? So what you will do? You will start giving me instructions, Mr. Joshi. Take your mind to heart. It is pumping, pumping, pumping. Will you do that? I have given you a lecture of 2 hours convincing you that hospitals are worst. Allopathy is bad. Correct? But as a good friend, what you will do? He said that let us forget about lecture, bundle him up, put him in the car and admit him in the hospital. Right or wrong? Yeah. So you have to remember that in certain emergencies, this therapy is not applicable and you should not venture into that kind of a field. Correct? No, earlier we used to say that limitation is diagnostic tools because we do not have any diagnostic tools per se in yoga abhyas. Correct? But my argument is that, what is your intention as a yoga therapist? What is your intention? To do something good for the patient. Am I right or wrong? To do something good for the patient. Now, whatever is your final goal of doing good for the patient, correct? If at all any analytical tools are helpful to you, if X-ray is helpful to you, MRI is helpful to you, correct? Maybe pathological tests are helpful to you, correct? Should you avoid them only because they are not from the field of yoga? You should take advantage of it. That is number one. And number two, you know, nowadays there are so many people who are working on the concept of analyzing the prakriti of a patient. Correct. So prakriti analysis is a new science which will be developed in the field of yoga. Correct. Prakriti is what? We have Panchamahabhutas. Correct. So one of the Mahabhutas going less or more creates a problem. Right or wrong? Correct. So suppose if you are not able to get, inhale the air, what is it that is less, in my body? Oxygen. Why it is less? Because I am not able to inhale, because my lungs are not functioning properly. Correct? Yeah. So then you can say that, this particular person is having this kind of a prakriti. So we have to strengthen that prakriti. Correct? So by which we should be able to take care of it. So these kind of a thing are great amount of work has been done. And maybe, in next decade, I think it will come out and it will be standardized also. Correct? So as long as you are doing good for the patient, there is no harm in, using any other methodology also. The next point that we have is ahar. Now, as far as yoga abhyas is concerned, ahar is always on the back seat. Ahar is always on the back seat because there is no great amount of mention as far as ahar is concerned. Why is it so? Can you tell me why it is so? Because as I said, basically this yoga was only for the ashramites. Correct? So whatever food is served in the ashram, only that you are supposed to eat, no? There is no vada pav centers there. Correct? So even if you would like to have, you cannot. Correct? So ahar was not given much of the emphasis. However, maximum emphasis is given in naturopathy and natural living. And that's the reason why Nimbarkar Guruji thought that if at all we would like to do something good for the patients, we should club this. We should not have only yoga therapy. We should have yoga, naturopathy, and natural living. Correct? So all combined together only we should offer as a package. Then only we are doing justice to the person. Correct? That is the purpose of having all these three subjects together. In yogic text, there is a general guideline. Like it talks about the sattvic ahar, mitahar, correct? And even there is a concept that we say that whenever you eat, how much quantity you should eat? 3/4. What 3/4? Half of the quantity you should eat. Half of the quantity you should eat a solid food. 25% you should have water. And 25% you should be empty. Correct? Now, is this the only yoga text or you are following it in your own day-to-day life also? Huh? Only in yoga text. Okay. So, madam, now you do the experiment tomorrow. Correct? You have a mixer in your kitchen. Correct? So, mixer is like our stomach. Correct? Charge it to the fullest extent. And even if say, you feel that now no more thing is going, ask sir to push it with all the force. Correct? Try to put maximum, and then start using it. Will you be able to get the final results? You also know that it is not a yoga test. We have not correlated with our day-to-day life examples. Correct? When you use a mixer, you put solid, and do you put some water also? Because the consistency has to be there. Have you ever tried if you don't put water, what happens? All the things which are to be ground, correct? Because of the centrifugal force, they will go and get attached to the wall. Even if you run those blades for 1 month, you don't get grinding. Motor will burn, but the grinding will not come. Correct? So you know that this has to be in the grinding zone. And for the grinding zone, I need to put some water. Yeah. So any yogic test or any text for that example, correct? You try to correlate. That is the kind of a thinking that I want to develop. Second most important thing in yoga or yoga therapy is that the concept of diet is not restricted only for the food. Any input that comes to you, any input means what? All the sensory organ that you have, are they capturing something and pushing it inside? Yeah. So every input that you take is also part of her. Is also a part of her. Correct? Yeah. So it is much wider definition. Correct? So yoga may not talk only about this thing. Like say, suppose if you would like to have a very sattvic diet, and dietitian has prescribed you this is what you should get. You try yourself. You know, you take the same diet. Correct? But switch on the TV. Maybe Michael Jackson is doing, and then at the loudest of the voice, and then you start eating. Are you in a mental frame to eat that and consume it, or you get irritated? Maybe you start dancing, but you will be able to, take benefit of that feed. So anything which is going inside, correct, is also an ahar. So there has to be some understanding about all the inputs that you have. That is what is the understanding as far as the yoga is concerned. Moderation, quality and quantity is very, very important as far as the yoga is concerned. Correct? So it takes about moderation in every walk of life. Is yoga good or bad? Is pranayam good or bad? Now, do you are you just see, because the problem is that see, whenever we accept, I said that we are friends, correct? So I am not a superior to you, correct? So just to please me, don't repeat that word. Okay? So if you say that, and secondly, say I am a very notorious friend. So suppose if you say in moderation it is good. So what happens if you do excess of pranayam? Any real life example you have? What will happen if you do excess of pranayam? I say okay, pranayam is good, no? Correct. I will do maybe 16 hours pranayam. All nadi shuddha, all nadi shuddha, all nadi shuddha. Why it is bad? Do you remember any real life example where it has gone bad? Correct. Now, what I'm saying is that we read daily newspaper, we see news on TV. Correct. Do you remember anything which has come, which has appeared as a normal newspaper or normal something like that? Do you know? Have you ever heard a name called as Mr. Khairnar? You have heard the name Khairnar? He was a demolition king as far as Mumbai is concerned, correct? So where nobody used to venture, he used to go and he used to demolish. He was a very powerful and absolutely, non-corrupt personality. Right? So after the retirement, he devoted entire time for yoga and pranayama. It so happened that within a month or two, he has to be admitted to the hospital. So anything in excess is bad.
But I
Sugar
get
is
it
good or
too. But
bad?
I was also on the flip side thinking that, but that's how
Sugar is
things
good or bad? I'm asking you a simple
go.
question.
That was like,
Huh?
oh, every 26th of January, we would sit in front of the TV and everybody
In
would.
excess is bad. In moderate quantity is good.
But then kind of thinking through that now, I'm like,
See, don't give political answers. Say, you can have it, but then it is your funeral. Don't come back to me.
if it was if given.
Like that. That happened. Like if you're making some
But I get it.
anything sweet.
Correct.
Like today's Janmashtami.
Yeah.
So people will mix.
Correct. Because see, Lord Sri Krishna had yesterday itself he has come and he said, "Ki tomorrow is my Janmashtami. You must have a lot of sweets because I used to like." Correct. And when he said that you should not do this, do you listen to Krishna?
Yes, just
Bhagavad Gita, he has told so many things which you should not do. So that we forget. Whatever is advantageous to me, that I will take. Correct. See, there is nothing in this world which is 100% good or 100% bad. Correct. Sugar is bad. But if you have a patient, whose sugar content has gone down and he has fainted, the doctor will tell you that give him at least 2, 3 spoons of sugar. No, for him, sugar is a miraculous medicine. Correct. So next day he decides, no, I got cured because of sugar. So today onwards, every 2 hours I will have at least 4 or 5 spoons of sugar. He will end up with problem. Anything in moderation is good. Anything in excess is bad. That is what is the simple principle of yoga. That is what we have to remember in all walks of life. I will tell you one thing, that as far as the ahar is concerned, self-experimentation is the best thing. More you read, more you listen on WhatsApp universities, more confused you are. Correct? There are two, the entire India's population is divided into two Ds as far as diet is concerned. Do you know who are those two? Anybody? Dikshit and Divekar. Have you heard them? So
Yes.
just do the research work no, on Dixit and Divekar on diet. Okay, now I will tell you how you can remember Divekar. Rujuta Divekar, you remember? Kareena Kapoor, you remember? Her zero figure, you remember? Correct. So that is what is. So now, if I give you all the references, you remember. Correct. Yeah. So what is the advice of Rujuta Divekar? Eat low. Yeah. And every 2 hours you should eat. Every 2 hours you should eat. You should never keep yourself hungry. Yeah. You can listen. See, you just have seen the order. You buy one ticket of 5,000 rupees and then listen to her for 1 hour. And by end of it, she will give you 101% conclusion, which says that the normal Indian vegetable diet is something good. But you will remember it because you have taken 1,000 rupees ticket for listening to the same. Correct? Your grandma was telling you same thing. Mama was telling you same thing, but it was free. So there is no importance to it. Yeah. So Rujita Divekar says that every 2 hours you must eat something. Correct? Dr. Dixit says you must eat only 2 times. Every day you must eat only 2 times. You can eat 45 minutes. Once you start eating, you can eat it for 45 minutes. Correct? So there are two, entire population is divided into two sects, correct, which are diagonally opposite. However, majority of the Indians, they are more intelligent, super intelligent. Correct? So what they have done is that they have made a cocktail of both of them. So they say every 2 hours you should eat for 45 minutes. Correct? So more you listen, more to read and all those things, that creates a problem. So you self-experiment. Self-experimentation is very simple. Suppose if somebody says that green chili is not good, you say no, it is good. It is good. Correct? So you do tonight only you do experiment. Have 5, 6 green chilies, eat it. Tomorrow morning you will get the answer. Wait. Tomorrow morning you will get yourself convinced that no, it is not good. What I mean to say is that you experiment on yourself and try and understand what is good. So accordingly, you give, freedom to your patients also. Correct. Now, we classify benefits of yoga abhyas as central, local, and allied. There is another classification of the effects. We call it as a psychological, which are something related with the mind. Physiological, which is something related with your anatomy and physiology of the body. Psychological, which is like somatic and kinesthetic, and biochemical. Correct. The biochemical benefits are that, as you know, that every signal from brain when it goes to a muscle, correct, how it is transferred. Are you aware about it? See, when you say that, in classes you must be giving instruction, na, lift your right leg to 10 degree, 15 degree, correct? Or you also must have done it. So how exactly the whole thing occurred? How did this whole system worked? So here captured the instructions of the teacher, went to a brain analyzed it, and then ultimately he sent the signal to the leg, no? So how that signal passing is there? There is a kind of electrical connections within. Huh? Yeah, Narendra, how it takes place here? Don't give me theoretical answers. See, it is electrochemical transmission. At every neuron, correct, a chemical is released, the next neuron captures it, converts it into electrical signal, transfers it to another neuron. Correct? So it's an electrochemical signal that is taking place. Now, if at all that kind of a signaling improves, will you have better movements? Will you have more controlled movements? Correct? So that is what happens with the, as far as the yoga is concerned, and that is what we have to, pay attention to. Another thing which terminology we should understand is the SDN, self-directed neuroplasticity. Now, for that, you have to understand how do I interpret that there is some pain in my body. I have a pain in my wrist. How it is interpreted? The wrist interprets it is a pain. Or it is your body here. How you are looking at me? Your body here. What is it that what is happening in your body? The wrist sends some signals again to the brain. Correct? Yeah. And there is a pain analysis which is being done. Correct? So interpret that signal as a pain. Correct? And then it concludes that it is painful. So this is what is the entire process. Correct? Now, can there be some short circuits and problems in the entire circuit? a normal signal, can brain interpret as a pain if there is a problem? There is a problem at the stage of interpretation. See, like, when you have a keyboard which has lots of internal connection, you type K and it gives some other machine language. It happens. So what is the problem? Problem is not with the key. Problem is not with the operator. Problem is within the internal this thing has happened. Likewise, can your brain have some problem? Correct. And because of which, why it is not, but because of that, you can misinterpret some signals as brain. Correct. And even, especially whenever you are talking about, if at all you are dealing with very senior citizens and who are staying alone. Correct. Yeah. They say that I have pain here. So you teach them something and it goes. They say, no, this pain is less, but it has shifted here. Correct. So it will go on shifting till shoulder. And maybe next month this wrist starts paining. So there is no pain. Because if you take X-ray, there is nothing. Anatomically, physiologically, there is no wrong. The pain is here, yeah. Pain is here. And there the yoga can work as a miraculous science. So, yeah. Now, this is the month of August, right? Month of August, correct? So, probably you may remember some great personality like Lokmanya Tilak. Do you remember or you don't? It is not a quiz. We are not on a live TV. Huh? So, if you say no, others will laugh at you. Correct? Yeah. So, what was his most famous sentence? स्वातंत्र्य हा माझा जन्मसिद्ध हक्क आहे. Freedom is my birthright, and I will ensure that I will get it. You remember that? Even in your school days also, you must have, talked about it and won so many prizes on 1st of August in your schools and all. Correct? So that is forgotten now. So likewise, health and happiness are your birthrights. Health and happiness are your birthrights. Correct? That is the reason why in philosophy, we call Atman, or the basic internal, the force, correct, as Satchidananda. Satchit Ananda. Ananda is a bliss. Ananda is not pleasure. Pleasure is temporary. Bliss is permanent. That is what is different. Bliss is a basic nature. Your basic nature is to be blissful. And if you don't believe, correct, just look at the newborn child. He is always happy, no? He is always happy. Yeah. So that is what is your nature. Over a period of time, you adulterate your thinking process and all those things, and you lose that bliss. Correct? Now, as I said, almost all the terminology that I'm talking about, they are worth, doing a research, because you can talk 2 hours on that. In medical science, what we call is a pathogenesis. Pathogenesis, correct? That means we have a focus on the disease, pathological disorder. So it is pathogenesis, correct? As far as yoga is concerned, or the new terminology that is coming, is salutogenesis. Salutogenesis, it is your birthright to be healthy. Now, what has gone wrong? How you have drifted from your birthright. Let us correct that, then automatically you will be healthy. Correct? So it is not salutogenesis. Don't look at it as a term which I talked about for 30 seconds. Correct? Go read something on it and then you will find a lot of things. Correct? It is a shift from illness to wellness. Illness to wellness. Not just the acrobats of the words. Correct? It's a real thing that you have to implement. Correct? Next thing that you should understand is 3 words: apathy, sympathy, and empathy. Correct? Apathy is not getting disturbed by anybody's problems. You are apart. No, how am I am not affected because of that. So why I should work? Are we apathetic? Are we apathetic when there are lots of things are happening? Correct? Are we really considering whether that is going to create a problem long term for our entire society? No. Today it is not creating problem. Why I should waste my time? Correct? And then I have elected leaders, no? So they should take care of it. Why I should do? Okay? So that is apathy. Sympathy is feeling bad about somebody. That is a natural human tendency. Empathy is putting yourself in his shoes. When patient is saying that shoes are creating a problem, Correct? Sympathy is, oh, I feel very sorry. Correct? And empathy is, okay, let me wear your shoes and see what exactly is happening. Correct? So what attitude change I want you all, if at all you would like to do this application of yoga therapy, is changing your own attitude first from apathy to sympathy and sympathy to empathy. So when you are at peace, why I'm doing all these things? Correct? First of all, as a friend, I have to ensure that there is some change, positive change in your life. That is my first, objective. Correct? And when you are at peace, you can do something better for the others. If you yourself have problems, correct? Can you solve others' problem? You can't, no? So first, my this thing is that you should ensure it. Now, what are the dimensions of yogic therapy? It can be applied in all the 4, 5, categories. It can be preventing, that you are aware that if you take care, it is preventing. It can be therapeutic. So somebody comes with a problem and you can use yoga as a therapeutic. I have given you lots of references from the ancient texts also. Can it be healing? Healing is change of attitude. Correct? So can it be healing? Can it be transformative? Somebody says that I get anger and because of that, I have problems. Because I have problems in the house. They get transferred to my office. Because I am carrying the same burden in my office, I have a problem with all my colleagues. Because I have a problem with all my colleagues and bosses. Correct? My career is affected. Madam, it is not cricket match. Huh? So don't do that. I teach in colleges. So I have uh, good control of 150 students at a time. So you can't escape that. Yeah. Can it be transformative? Yes, it can be transformative also. Change is temporary. Transformation is permanent. Correct? So yoga brings transformation, not a change. That is what you have to understand. And even for the recovery, that even there are so many people who are doing a special camps for the cancer patients. Correct? Not that, because of the yogic treatment, the cancer gets cured. Because they are undergoing radiation. Correct? And because they are passing through the worst phase of their life, by doing yoga abhyas, correct, they can develop some kind of a better coping mechanism for all the adversities that they have to face in the life. Correct? So at all the stages, yoga can work. Now, there are some points that you must remember. Correct? First is that you are teaching yoga abhyas and not treating the patient. Correct? If you happen to talk to very senior doctors, correct, they say that if you ask them that, have you cured the patient? He said, no. We treat the patient, he cures. God cures. Correct? That credit should not come to us. Correct? So most of the senior doctors, they develop this kind of a philosophical approach by, when they really grow and understand that really I don't have anything. I am being used as an instrument by certain higher authorities to do something good for the patient. Today, it is not a recognized therapy, but don't get disheartened. Physiotherapy was not recognized just a couple of years ago. Now, today, physiotherapists can put doctor. Are you aware about it? Correct? Doctor so and so. Into bracket, they have to put T. That means it is physiotherapy. Correct? So, I am quite hopeful, correct, that even the recognition will come to the yoga therapy also. I am 101% sure about it. Correct? But for that, we need to have a very, very systematic approach. Correct? And we have to be very cautious about treating with the patients. No tall claims and false promises. That means, should I tell only the truth to the patient? Suppose if I come to you, correct, and there is again, let us have some story of Buddha. A mother went to Lord Buddha. She said, my son has expired. You have done so many miracles. Correct? Ensure that, he comes to the life again. So Buddha said, I will do it. Only one condition. You go to the village and take only 4 grains of rice. Correct? From a house. When in last 100 years there was no death. Correct? That is why he is called Buddha. And we are ordinary people. Correct? So whenever even the patient comes at such final stages, correct, you need not tell them the fact of life. You are going to live only for 3 months. No, it is written in by the doctor. No, you don't do that. Correct? Because nobody can decide about it. Correct? So be very, very tactical about it. Understand limitations, whatever is there. patient's response is final. And as you go on, teaching, correct, you start getting good results. And mouth to mouth publicity will there. Correct. I had a backache, I went to this madam's class, I got cured. Correct. So 100 people are saying that I got cured. So 101st person comes. Okay? He said, Madam, I am not getting a relief. What are you taking? I have cured hundreds and thousands of patients. Every patient comes to you is unique in all the senses. Correct. So you should respect whatever feedback he or she is giving you. Correct. And your some willingness is there. So again, there is a story of Osho. Correct. People have habit of asking questions. So one disciple, after maybe discourse, he went to Osho and he said that, Sir, I am thirsty. Sir, I am thirsty. So what I should do? What he should do? You tell me. Drink water. So you are almost at the level of Osho because Osho gave the same answer. You understand what is your level of intelligence? Yeah. So Osho said, you go and have a glass of water. So patient went there. He took a glass of water. But then the question came that what is water? Valid question, no? Again he goes back to the disciple. So what you will tell the patient? What is water? It is a compound of hydrogen and oxygen. Again you are at the same level of Osho. Correct? So it is a compound of hydrogen and oxygen. So he says, yeah, now there is a point. I can just definitely gallop of water. So again he goes and he says, but what is hydrogen and what is oxygen? So both they are chemicals. So they are made up of three things: proton, neutron, and electron. But my dear friend, you came with the one question. I gave you two answers. First I told you water. Then you come back, I gave you two answers. Now you have come back, I will give you three answers. So before your inquisitiveness vanishes in the death, you go and drink water first. Correct? So you also will have to have this kind of attitude for not for all the people, but those who ask so many questions to it. And last one is be yoga therapist and not yoga terrorist. What do I mean by terrorist is that there are so many people who have gone with the arthritis. They have gone to a doctor. Doctor writes the prescriptions, he has all these things, and he writes with a red pen. Normally, doctor never uses a red pen. But he writes with a red pen because he has told you, no, I am a very yoga expert and I am doing yoga class and all. So he writes with the red pen. No sitting on the ground. Because your arthritic, it has gone to extent, no sitting on the ground. You say, no, doctor, what do doctor knows? I am a yoga therapist, gold medalist. Don't do that because that will cause a harm to the patient. Correct? Yeah. So that you should never do. Now, the last thing is that, we started with the concept of friend. So we will, end our discussion with the beautiful poem on friend. Correct? So I'll just recite it for you. So around the corner, I have a friend. Around the corner, I have a friend in this great city that has no end. Yet the days go by and weeks rush on. And before I know it, a year is gone. Same happened for YTC. Same thing will happen for YNTC also. Before you realize the year is gone. Correct? And I never see my old friend's face. For life is a swift and terrible race. He knows, my friend knows, I like him just as well as in the days when I rang his bell and he rang mine. If we were younger then, if we were younger then, and now we are busy, tired, men or women, tired of playing a foolish game, tired of trying to make a name. Tomorrow I say I shall call on him, correct? Just to show that I am thinking of him. But tomorrow comes and tomorrow goes. Tomorrow comes and tomorrow goes. And distance between us grows and grows. Around the corner, yet miles away. Here is a telegram, sir. Here is a telegram, sir. Joshi died today. And this is what we get and deserve at the end. around the corner, a vanished friend. So friends, take this opportunity to make more friends and never be shy to tell them what they mean to you. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Right? Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah, any you want to ask something? You wanted to ask something. Yeah. Is it about cricket or yoga only? Yeah, tell me, madam. You don't get offended, no? If I just crack a joke, we are all friends, no? So we can do that. No, you have any questions? So it is not compulsory that you must ask. You said you raised the hand, so I said if at all you have any question, you can ask me. Yeah. Yes.
Sir, I just don't want to be that Osho's student. Oh, is she asking? Okay.
No, he doesn't believe in God. Why not? See, I will ask you philosophy. I will give you philosophical justification. You have studied yoga, correct? Out of six darshana that we have in Indian philosophical system, are you aware about six darshana? No. See. But are you aware that yoga is related with Sankhya? Are you aware about it? Correct? Yeah. So does Sankhya believe in God? There is no mention of Ishvara in Sankhya. That is why yoga is called as the Seshwara Sankhya because Patanjali believes in yoga. Correct? Yeah, Ishvara Pranidhan is one thing that is recommended. So Patanjali believes in Ishvara. Sankhya says it may be there, it may not be there. But I don't think Ishvara is necessary for evolution of the universe. He is silent about it. Correct? Yeah, so it is not necessary that, they should believe in what you have. Huh? Yeah, somebody, I think online, anybody asking questions?
Yes, sir. So you have mentioned the Purnavad in between.
Purnavad,
Okay.
yeah.
I never heard that concept. I never. So where exactly it is from? Any
No,
book, any reference?
not reference. Anything except allopathy, you go to any pathy. Except allopathy, you go to any pathy. If you go to, say, I will just tell you. If you go to homeopathy doctor, the first appointment is for minimum 2 hours. And he will ask you all the, in your opinion, irrelevant questions. Right from morning, what time you get up, what is it that you have, how do you do it. For 2 hours, he takes the history of your entire day. Even he takes your family history. Correct? So is he treating your disease or is he treating you as a whole? So except allopathy, all other sciences, they believe that you as a whole is a sufferer. And the action has to be taken for the entire person, not for that particular diseased organ only. Refer me anything, even Ayurvedic text you take, correct? Homeopathic text you take, yogic text you take, correct? Even acupressure and acupuncture, they talk about the disturbance at the level of circulation of prana. So that is not necessary. If you have wrist pain, it is not necessary that prana is not getting circulated around the wrist. There may some problem may be somewhere else. So that is a common thing, madam. No?
Yeah. So
Are you convinced?
Sir,
any particular
sir,
book
just
which has
Pradnya, just
which has
1 minute. Can
Hello.
you officially take one Omkar, please?
Okay, yeah.
Offline people
So
will be.
I have one request, correct? See, officially you are supposed to sit here till 8:30. Now it is 8:30. Correct? Yeah. So we will continue our question and answer for those who are interested. But by 8:30, it is not compulsory that you must stay. Because you have so many other commitments. Right? I have no commitment. Yeah. So I will continue. So we will just take one Omkar and then officially we will close this session. Correct? So sit upright, spine straight and erect. Slowly drop your eyelids. Slowly drop your eyelids. Correct? A deep inhalation and while exhaling, chant Omkar. Oh. Keep the eyes closed. Enjoy those vibrations of Omkar. Slowly open your eyes. Yeah. Our discussion is over. Now, it is up to you. If you want, you can stay. Otherwise, you can leave.
Sir,
Madam,
shall I?
8:30 your gate pass is prepared. So it is not compulsory that you do it here. Yeah. Yes, madam.